Hi guys, in this video, I'll be making another basketball video, right? I know that it's been a while, that I have not been making, a basketball video, but I want to talk about, yesterday, about the, basketball thing. The reason why I have been, lacking, in uploading videos because, it's very busy, it's holiday, and I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Go, that just kept me extremely busy and obviously I want to talk about the yesterday's game. It was extremely embarrassing and it was shocking to the whole sport, not just basketball, but I'd say that to the entire sport, or even outside fans, of basketball, in terms of general, right? Like they look at this and now they're just making like a big joke about it, and it is a big problem right now. It is a huge problem, and I probably would never want to see this ever again. As an NBA fan or an NBA watcher, right? We do not want to see this happen, right? But I know that like blowout happens every once in a while, but blowouts that just break record, making history for the wrong reason, like it's not good. Yeah, I know that, for the Clipper fans, it's extremely embarrassing, you know, just to see your team, like suffer like this. I know that there's other, garbage, NBA franchise, that suffer, being biggest laughing stock of the NBA, but you were a team that's supposed to beat the Lakers. You were a team that's supposed to face the Lakers in the semifinals, but you got wiped out by the Denver Nuggets. Blew a 3-1 lead. And I'm overreacting to a Clippers, that would trail 50 point at the half. Like, I have never seen this in my life. Like, nobody ever has seen this. Like, this is making history, man. No team has ever lead 50 point that early in the NBA game, in the NBA 48-minute game. Like, only takes 24 minutes just to bump up 50-point lead. What does that mean? It means that, for every, 1 minute pass by, like, a team already gained, like, more than 2 points per minute. Like, that is freaking insane. I mean, we've seen a 50-point blowout or 50-point loss, in the whole game, but not just at the half. Like, at the half, like, bro, that's just a whole nother level, man. Like, you Clippers, man, better feel ashamed of yourself, man. It's like, WTF, like, wow, man. Surprised me. I mean, I didn't watch the game, like, I was, out, with my family and then hangouts, and that's why I didn't watch the game, but I technically do not want to watch blowouts, because it's boring, and these Clipper fans are just standing around and just doing absolutely nothing. I mean, this is how, blowouts can happen. I know that once in a while, a team has, an off night, but being down 50 points to the Dallas Mavericks, I'm like, this is unacceptable. And this can never happen again. Okay, what was the biggest lead? When's the last time there was the biggest lead, at the halftime? It was like 47 points, right? Back in, 1991, which is almost 30 years ago. And now, almost 30 years later, now, we've seen a team, that is trailing 50 point at halftime. The score was so lopsided. It's 77-27. Exactly 50 point. The Clippers didn't even score 30 point. Like, Luka just like burned the entire Clippers, man. Burned them. The Mavericks got the revenge, and this guy almost scored as much as the Clippers, in just half, and that's how lopsided the score is. Like, the Clipper scored like almost like 1/3 of the Dallas Mavericks. Like, the Clippers couldn't even get, or barely get, half of the score of the Dallas Mavericks. And like, Dang, man. Like, this is a very bad blow, in professional sport. Like, I know that, when I watch, like, college basketball or, G League basketball, I know that, like, insane, like, 70 or 80-point blowouts happen. But, yeah, but when I watch about NBA, like, people think that it is a college basketball, but it's professional basketball, right? I mean, this is why, it looks very weird and awkward and like I cannot describe this right now. Like this is how frustrating and shocking, this is. Like this is the worst basketball performance I have ever seen in my life. I mean, I feel sorry, for especially, a Clipper fan, but for the Mavericks fan, like, you guys are, exposing the Clippers, really good. You know, there's just like so many proof, like why, the Clipper had a garbage franchise. You know, just never exit the second round, and then and then you got and then you lose by 51 points to the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, 50 points, you already trailed by 50 points in the half, but then, second half, the Clipper play really good in the third quarter, but still not enough, and still, end up losing by like 31 points. Like, look at the three quarter Clipper play, man. Like, first quarter, second quarter, fourth quarter, all three quarters were under 20 points, except for the third quarter that scored, 30 points, right? The Dallas Mavericks outscored the Clipper in every single quarter except for the third quarter. Okay, first quarter, you were down by 23, 36 to 13. And in the second quarter, it got much worse, 41 to 14. So the Dallas gained a 23-point lead, and then, at the second quarter, the Dallas Mavericks extend a 27 more point lead, adding it up to 50. 25 points per quarter. I'm like, that's crazy. And then, the Clipper went on a 10-0 run, to avoid, the most embarrassing blowout, in NBA history, just to avoid that and to cut the lead to 40 points. But however, in the middle of fourth quarter, the Dallas Mavericks was about to lead 60 points, but the biggest lead was like 57 points. I mean, without, the Clippers, little runs, something like that, if the Dallas Mavericks played hard throughout the game, they would have easily led 70 points. It would have easily beat the Cavaliers, biggest margin victory, back in 1991. Same coincidence here, as the Kings, lead the Warriors 47 points at the half. 148 to like 80. 60 is the biggest margin, margin of victory. And let's say that the Dallas lead like 50 points at the half. They would only need to score 19 points just to have a 69-point victory. They could have done it yesterday, if they wanted to. They can even, in fact, get to at least a 70-point lead if they wanted to. And that's just even look worse for the Clippers, man. I mean, 2020 is just too insane, and it's just very terrible, man. Like, this is why, I hate this year, because just making so many records, man. Like, this is nuts. Like, this is not, man. This is crazy. Like, I cannot believe this happens, right before we enter the new year. Like, I didn't think it was possible, man. I get it, we're playing, in the basketball arena, without fans and stuff, and you're playing without Kawhi Leonard. I know the Clippers, but without Kawhi Leonard, you still cannot lose like this, man. You still can play much better than this, even without Kawhi Leonard. And you know what's the worst part of, Clipper losing 51 points to the Dallas Mavericks? The worst part is that Kristaps Porzingis didn't even play. So don't give me excuse say that, oh, Kawhi didn't play, this is why we lose 50 points. Like, come on, man. We seen, a team, without Kawhi Leonard, you know they still can beat and win teams, man. You Clipper team defeated the Dallas Mavericks 4-2 in the NBA 2020 playoff. Your your roster, your stat is better than them. And then just to let you know that the Mavericks play, a really terrible defense. Like the other night, they gave up like 138 points to the LA Lakers, and the Clippers only scored like 27 points and a half. Like, what does that say? Like, let's just say that the Dallas Mavericks has a tired defense. Like, would that make a difference? Oh, I have no idea. And would that make the Clipper even score less and make the Dallas score even more? Yeah, I don't want to find out, man. But 51 point is embarrassing already. You know. Like, I thought the score was fake. The score, was a mistypo. I thought this was fake. This was a dream, but turns out like this is actually real, right? I know that the NBA night of December 27th was, very weird, very, weirdest basketball night of all time. All the crappy teams and all the underdog teams are, beating, top tier, elite teams. So let's see what happens. So the Clippers lose 51 to point to Dallas Mavericks. The Nets lose to the Hornets. The Sixers got whooped so bad by the Cavaliers. Same thing in the Knicks. Like, they totally crushed the Bucks, by 20 points. The Warriors barely survived the Bulls, and then the very next night, as recording on 20 December, the Portland Trail Blazers defeated the LA Lakers. So all the good teams, including the Los Angeles Lakers, have on night and take an L, right? Obviously, Clippers should just, move on, and become better, and how to avoid, this type of worst loss franchise, right? I mean, honestly, there was a very bad loss, that just happened, just almost 3 years ago. Was, the Memphis Grizzlies against the Charlotte Hornet, right? I mean, have not seen a 60-point blowout in the NBA, for like over 20 years. And yes, this can actually happen too. In fact, this is even worse than getting blown out by the Hornets by 61 points. Like this is just this loss and blowouts and performance in NBA. Like, this is so horrifying. Like this is. Like, I just feel like I don't want to watch the type of game anymore, man. Like, come on, losing 61 point, Grizzly losing 61 point, like, this is really, really bad. And now, being down by 50 point at the half, like, it's just even worse than that. Then, the Grizzly lost by 61 point. That happened in probably around March 2018. I mean, eventually, the records will get beaten. I mean, it doesn't last forever, right? But yeah, I just have to end this video here, But man, I think if my channel gets blown up because of this, like, bro, man, like, I don't know what to say, but just have to keep making this type of, crazy and showing, crazy, unrealistic, crazy news. And yeah, the likes gonna get blown up, comments gonna get blown up. Like, they're gonna look at this, man. But I'm not gonna disrespect, any, NBA fans out there, right? Yeah, I know it's very frustrating, to see, this, right? But peace out, that was weird.